everyone, it's Deborah. I am letting my hair air dry. I love these earrings because it picks up on the gold in this leopard shirt. Leopard is really in this year, so I really like this brushed gold. But this video is about male privilege. Let me explain what that is in case you girls don't know what it is. But I found this out when I was like 9 and 10 years old. I was the oldest grandchild out of like 5 generations, and I would be at my mother's house. And my mother had like 6 brothers, I think. And after my poor grandmother made breakfast with no help for 30-some people, I was the one expected to do the dishes. And I remember being very angry at that age because the men just got up and left and went and sat on the porch or whatever they did. But they didn't go back to work, okay, because that would be a whole different issue. But I was left with that task, and I remember, I'm never going to let this happen again. Now, here's a story. When I was married, I went to my mother-in-law's house, and my husband had a brother, and he was a little bit overweight. And I remember, this was Thanksgiving, and I remember his poor mother was preparing the meal for like 15 people. And my husband at the time, his brother and him were sitting on the couch watching TV. Now, my husband knows to get up and help his mother. I don't think I would have married him if he was a lazy ass, but he got up, and without even me asking, he went and helped his mother prepare the meal as well as I did. Now, I always told my daughter, I said, don't get hooked up in that. Don't be everybody's slave, you know. If you're asked nicely and everybody else is pitching in, then it's not an issue with that male privilege. But I remember saying to my brother-in-law, I said, get your ass off that couch and help your mother. Well, let me tell you the rest of the story. This was even before we had the meal. They're watching football or whatever you do on Thanksgiving. You can still help your mom or your wife while you're watching football, people. Put a TV in the kitchen. It's not that difficult. Well, he got so mad at me because I stood my ground that he gathered up all his children and got in the car and left. And he's never spoken to his brother, his only brother, ever again. I don't think my ex even looks at it at a loss because he was a jerk, just a jerk. So all my life, I've had to deal with men who think that they needed to be specially treated. Now, my daddy's old school, you know, he's born in the 30s. He had 5 children, and he never had a day off. He worked every day. Now, there's a difference here with this male privilege. When those men come home, they expect to be waited on, and I agree with that. I waited on my husband and my dad as if they were kings of the house, because they are. They are bringing in that income, and they are so exhausted. My husband used to climb trees all day, and I'm going to tell you what, nothing is harder than doing tree work. You don't even go there with me because I am going to win. If you're, toting around big logs or throwing them in the chipper or up 150 feet up in a tree, there's nothing more dangerous and nothing more physically demanding. So when my daddy, who sat ceramic tile all day on his knees, now he's 6'4.5", we waited on them like kings. Whatever they wanted, they snapped their fingers, we'd bring it to them. But I'm talking about men who never contribute anything to any kind of housework. Like, let's see. Because my dad never had a day off, he was like exempt from having to mow the yard or anything like that. I mowed the yard, but when my husband worked 13 years without a day off. So It's those men who do deserve to be treated like a king in his own house. But don't be one of those jerks who have a 9-to-5 job. You get holidays off, weekends off, and you're sitting on your butt while your wife or your mother is in that kitchen because you are a jerk. Yeah. So get off that male privilege. That's only reserved for certain men who work like dogs, okay? And where is it written in the Bible that the women have to do the laundry or, the dishes? I don't think that's in the Bible, okay? I think if you're living in a house, everybody should contribute somewhat to the household chores, whether it's taking out the trash. I only expected my husband to take out the trash. That's all he had time for. You see the difference? But if you're one of these guys who get home at 4:30 or 5, you got the rest of the night, you should grab that vacuum cleaner. Let me tell you what, because it will cause a lot of friction in your marriage if you don't. Now, I know a lot of you guys will say, oh, my wife doesn't have a job. No, you are so wrong. The hardest job in the world is raising children. And if you've got a wife that's home raising those children, now she don't have one job, honey. She got 3 jobs, okay? Or maybe more. So don't use that excuse. Well, I'm the one that's working and she stays home all day. Let me tell you what, her day is filled. And if you don't believe me, you women switch roles. You go out for the day for 8 or 9 hours and leave him with the children and make sure that he does the bathing, the changing of the sheets, helping with the homework, making the beds, getting them on the bus. Let's see how he feels. Then, okay, yeah, I'm a little angry because this brings back a lot of bad memories of men sitting down. And I remember my uncles doing the same thing. My uncles sitting in front of the TV, not helping the women. No, that's male privilege. We're all created equal. Okay. So get off your butt. Bye.